In this video, we are going to talk about chords from an aural perspective, meaning I'm going to play a chord and you need to tell me what that chord is just from listening to it. It's fairly simple. We only have 3 chords that we're going to work with. Okay, so here we have the major chord, the minor chord, and a dominant 7th chord. Okay, so I'm going to play these so you can hear what they sound like, and then we'll do a little test. But let's just talk a little bit about these chords first of all. Obviously these are all C. So this is C major, C minor, and what we would call C7. You can say C dominant 7th if you want. So C major is just made up of 3 notes straight from the C major scale, C, E, and G. Okay, and it sounds very happy. Let's have a listen to it. You know, in basic terms, it's a happy sounding chord, a major chord. Okay, what's the difference between a major and a minor chord? Well, there's only one note that changes. So the first note doesn't change, the C doesn't change, the 5th doesn't change, what we would call the, this is 1, 3, and 5 from the scale. So the 1st and the 5th does not change. It's the 3rd that changes. The 3rd goes down by a semitone. So if the difference between a major and a minor chord is the 3rd going to a semitone down. So in this case, it's gone from E to E flat. So let's have a listen to the minor chord. Okay, sad sounding. Okay, dominant 7th. This is a 4-note chord. This has 1, 3, 5, and 7. Okay, so that's where it gets its name from, a 7th chord. Interestingly enough, I won't go into too much detail here, but you'll notice you would maybe think, okay, if it's a 7th chord, wouldn't it have the 7th note from C major in it? But it's not. The 7th note of C major is a B natural note, but this has a B flat note. It's actually from a different key, so I won't confuse you and go into too much detail there. But yeah, a C7 chord has C, E, and G, so it's got the major triad, 1, 3, and 5, and then has a B flat on top. And to me, it sounds a little bluesy. You can hear, especially when you compare it to the major chord, it's got that extra note, and I'll play that for you. But let's have a listen to it first. This is the dominant 7th chord. Okay, it's got that sort of bluesy, to me it sounds a little bluesy. I'll compare it to the major scale, major chord. Here is just the major chord, 1, 3, and 5. The 7th chord. So they sound similar. Major, 7th. So the 7th is just a major chord with an extra note on top. So let's have a little test. I'm going to play them in a random order. We'll do this a few times and see if you can get them correct just from listening to them. Here we go. So here is the first chord. I'm only going to play, I won't double up on any chords. I'm just going to play the 3 chords in a random order. So here is the first chord. I'll play the first chord again. Here is the second chord. And here is the 3rd chord. Okay, if you need to rewind and have another listen, but I'll go through the order now. So the order, of course, was I played the minor chord, then I played the major chord, then I played the 7th. So the first one was minor, second one was major, third one was 7th. Let's do it again in a different order. So here we go. First chord. Sorry, stuffed that up a little bit. Okay, second chord. And 3rd chord. Okay, if you need to rewind, have another listen. But the order, of course, was, I went backwards. I went dominant 7th, minor, and then major. First chord was dominant 7th, second chord minor, 3rd chord major. With the 7th chord, I don't mind if you just write 7. It's okay with me. You don't have to write out dominant 7th. Let's do one more test. Let's do another random order one more time. So here we go. First chord. I'm just trying to make sure I don't do the same order as before. Here we go. First chord. second chord, and third chord. Hopefully that's not the same order as any of the previous tests, I can't remember. Okay, so the order there was dominant seventh, major, and minor. Okay, so hopefully that all makes sense. It's not too hard, this one, because there's only 3 options. I think you can hear the difference between those 3 chords.